Hello. So, got a request for Totient versus Cube for answer. That would be the Fragile versus the Grey Gloom. So, I remade these as close as I could. So in the case of the Fragile, it is, well, it's reasonably fast, it's very lightweight, it's got this kind of skeletal thing going on. This is as close to those arms as is available in this gen, and to mimic his little machine pistols, he's got the dual sylphs. And then to mimic his back parts, which, I mean, you can't really fire them this way, there's no OPI in this game, so he's got dual fingers in his hangers. I was considering to kind of switch it up a little bit, but I always remember him using his pistols first and then switching off to the chain guns to finish off. So if I'm wrong on that, I apologize. Just always kind of how I remember that going. Now the second one is a guy I actually completely forgot about. So this is Totient in the Grey Gloom. It is a PA build. It is just entirely built on just bum rushing somebody, using PA and then trying to finish them off with the machine gun and the blade. Now, since that isn't exactly a thing in this one, he's been instead rebuilt to focus on the Selena core, which is, well, let's be honest, it's probably even better than PA ever was. So it doesn't really, you know, explode in an area, but it doesn't exactly leave you hanging either. So it's basically just a big old set of laser cannons that pop out of the core. His extensions, which are usually PA amplifiers, have been changed to energy extensions, so he can recover and keep using his PA. And in both cases, when they're required to recharge, it takes roughly 20 seconds, since in most versions that people probably fought him, since most people probably did this story early on, it typically took like 15-20 seconds, according to the wiki, so 20 to 30 seconds to get his core back. And yeah, I think a couple recharges of the core are enough to get a kill on their own, and then he's got the 500 mg on the right. That is pretty much the same thing as the Hitman, and then on the left, he's got the I gave him the fast blade instead of the short blade, mostly because the damage difference wasn't too significant when the AI was using it, and frankly, I think this one looks closer. But either way, I think we'll see how that goes. And I guess the third reason is because I wanted to remake Karam, and he's already using it, so can't really use that in this roster, so close enough. Now, here we go. The PA head didn't exactly exist, so I kind of made do. Also, might notice it is running a little bit smoother this time. So I've been messing around with different settings based on what a friend had advised me on. And, well, this is kind of what's ended up resulting. Alright, so let's go back to this. There we go. That's where it needs to be. So yeah, he's a mix of his core and machine gun. He gets in close with the blade and all that. Honestly, I would prefer using this setup to his original one. Just because, like I mentioned, it doesn't really leave you without your armor for a while. You've got just as much armor, you just have to wait a little bit for your offense to come back. Okay, so it looks like Fragile is about to eat it here. Due to Fragile's evasiveness, I gave him some ECM pods on the inside, as well as those energy extensions, so that's typically going to be enough to dodge most things. Oh, okay, he might just pull it back, because he just got his fingers out. Oh, for that finger finish! Oh, man! Okay, perfect! Oh, sprayed right the hell down. Okay. And one more. As per usual, this is best 3 out of 5. And the maps are randomized, so in that case, that feels like it didn't really go for either one. I would say, if anything, it helped Totient out. Again, they're both set up for close range, but he's definitely got the bolt and firepower advantage. Fragile is mostly going to be good at evading things. In this case, it doesn't really even seem like his ECM pods are enough to get over the ECM countering ability of the Grey Gloom. So that's a bummer for him. They are both equipped with radars so that they wouldn't end up losing track of each other. Again, that's a very not four-answer, but formula front type of issue. I have to say, I think this one's going to go to the Grey Gloom. It looks like he's slightly affected. It's messing with his aiming, but I don't think Fragile's going to have the ammunition to actually win this fight. I don't know why he's not getting in closer. His setup is just about as close as it could be. It's not completely to the close end. Like, he's not going and rubbing faces or anything. Because, again, he liked to dodge back and forth and all that. And, yeah, it looks like Fragile is completely out of firepower. So, what would have to happen here, he'd have to... Well, let's see if it's possible. No, Fragile's on the top left. That's not going to help me at all. I was going to say, if the Grey Gloom ran out of ammo here... yeah, no, it's too late. You'd have to trick him into going out of bounds now. But yeah, Grey Gloom's taking it. There we go. Took him right the hell out. It's a little bit unfortunate that he has to rely on running the guy out of ammo, but whatever. A win's a win, as they say. Moving on. These two turned out reasonably. Would it be considered spamming if I put that on the Facebook page? Honestly, I haven't put them on there up to this point because I didn't want to, you know, throw it out there and annoy anyone. I think I'll just reply to the post. Alrighty. There we are. So, yeah, the emulation settings were changed a little bit. There's still a little bit of flickering going on. Mostly it's just set to automatic texture scaling and 2x resolution. It seems to be doing alright with that. If I turn off frame skipping completely, we get this sort of effect. That varies by the map. So if I turn it on for one texture, or not texture, but one frame skip, it's something like this. It looks pretty nice. Pretty decent. Unfortunately, it's kind of up and down. Oh, man. Alright. Cube, you need to calm down with that thing. You're wasting all your bullets. Okay, there we go. We took him out again. So there we go. 2 to Cube. Da-da. And one more. Now, when I say it's up and down, I mean for whatever unknown reason. In some cases, I'll have the same settings and it'll just be smooth as butter. It'll be functioning perfectly. And in other cases, it will completely turn around and, well, do what I just showed a minute ago. I was actually able to get by with no frame skip at all, just, let's say about 15 minutes ago before starting this. Alright, this has to go to Fragile, I think. He's getting a lot better ammo efficiency, he's gotten a very good start. Yep. Got his ECMs out. Kind of mimic his dodging abilities. I just remember him always jumping off to the side. Also, by the way, you may notice he's getting caught on stuff all the time. That's on purpose. That's to do with his horrible terrain awareness. Yeah, apparently, and I remember this happening a few times, but apparently it happened enough times that it was actually mentioned on the wiki. He has a habit of sometimes just flat out leaving the map, getting caught on stuff. I mean, he is absolutely an AI. That's a big deal. Okay, you know what? Grey Gloom's taking it. There's very little, unless he pulls out his fingers right now and absolutely wrecks the Gloom apart, which he's actually doing. Never mind. Come on, pull it back, pull it back! Oh, that is just tragic. That is absolutely tragic. If you had just let go of the trigger earlier... Oh, wait, he still has rounds! Never mind. Okay, cool. So the Fragile takes it. So yeah, Cube versus Totient. Cube wins it 3-1. There you go, and let me know if you have any other requests.